Whether he was on the squash court, golf course, or at the state capitol, Thomas Randolph Cox Jr. was competitive and intense. But he wasn't one to seek the spotlight. He worked quietly behind the scenes for the betterment of the Kanawha Valley. Friends describe him as honest and loyal.
There couldn't be a better family person than Randy, and a better friend. He was so helpful to me on so many occasions when I was having problems. And he did so many things that he was just so unassuming about. Very modest and did a lot of things for the community that a lot of people didn't know.
Randy was an only child. He was born on October 19, 1949 in Bridgeport, Connecticut, to parents Mary Elizabeth Anderson and Thomas Randolph Cox. His mother was a very outgoing woman who shared her great enthusiasm for life with Randy. Randy got his strong work ethic from his father, a retired World War II veteran who went on to earn his master's degree and work in the agricultural chemicals industry. When Randy was 11 years old, his dad got a new job and moved the family to Princeton, New Jersey. Growing up, Randy spent a lot of time at the gym playing basketball. His hero was former United States Senator Bill Bradley, who was on the U.S. Olympic team and played for the New York Knicks. It turns out Bradley was also Randy's Sunday school teacher. While Bradley was a student at Princeton University, he taught Randy's Sunday school class. After Randy graduated from Princeton High School, he earned his Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Virginia in 1971. 2 years later, he got his MBA from the University of Massachusetts. Then, in 1976, Randy earned his law degree from the University of Miami. That's where he met his wife, Parkersburg native Ann Bradley. They met at a dinner party their final year in law school, and although they became friends, there wasn't an instant spark. It wasn't until after graduation they had their first date. Ann remembers the date, June 15, 1976. They were each in the library studying for the bar exam when they bumped into each other and decided to go to dinner. Randy and Ann had a very short courtship. They dated about a half a dozen times before Ann moved back to West Virginia for a job. Randy got a job in Raleigh, North Carolina, where his parents had relocated. The two stayed in contact and got engaged during Labor Day weekend 3 months after their first date. Randy moved to Charleston and the couple was married on March 12, 1977. The couple has 2 children, Aaron Elizabeth and Thomas Randolph Cox III. Aaron is a social justice activist in Chicago, Illinois. Thomas is getting ready to go to graduate school for international diplomacy. He and his wife Brittany live in Lexington, Kentucky. By all accounts, Randy had a great relationship with his children. He was a fun-loving and very supportive father. They have many fond memories of him, including the annual trip to the beach. Both Randy's and Ann's parents would join them on vacation. Everyone always had a great time. Randy's parents eventually moved to Charleston in their golden years to be closer to everyone. Family was really important to Randy. No matter what, Randy always made family a priority. Randy started his legal career in Raleigh, North Carolina, as a hearing examiner for the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission. When he moved to Charleston, he worked as an attorney for Columbia Gas Transmission Corporation for a few years. Then he worked for the Coal Development Authority under then-Governor J. Rockefeller and got his first exposure to the legislature. In 1983, Randy joined the law firm of Spillman, Thomas, and Battle, where he remained for the duration of his career. As a lobbyist, Randy was a regular around the well during the legislative session. His primary areas of practice focused on government relations, insurance regulation, telecommunications, and corporate law. Randy was listed in the best lawyers in America for about 20 years. He was a great mentor to young lawyers.
Most people think that a lawyer's home base is the courthouse and the courtroom. Well, for Randy Cox, home base was the State House, and he understood the halls of the Capitol like nobody else, his years of experience. And what was probably very unique about Randy is the way in which he went about his work. He did it in an exceptional fashion. He's smart, he's intelligent. He served as a mentor to countless folks who will probably be continuing to work the legislative process for years to come. Randy set a high bar. He always dealt with people fairly. He was always honest. He was a consummate gentleman. He was somebody that everyone could look up to.
As a lawyer, he was truly, truly the consummate advocate for his client, but with this unbelievable ability to get results by convincing everybody, no matter how disparate their viewpoint on a particular issue was, that it was better to compromise and get the job done and get something they could live with. So whether you call him a mediator or a facilitator, he was that kind of a lawyer in his governmental representation, being able to convince people that it was in their best interest to compromise and get a result.
Randy was very community-minded. He was a trustee of the Eastern Mineral Law Foundation. He was also involved in a number of organizations, including the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation, the State Chamber of Commerce, Charleston Rotary, Edgewood Country Club, and the YMCA, where he worked in some capacity on every single Spirit of the Valley campaign since the event began in 1985. He was very passionate about the YMCA. Those who knew him well said he was masterful in his ability to encourage people to buy and help sell tickets for the annual Spirit of the Valley Luncheon. Unfortunately, his life was cut short on his birthday in 2011, while he was playing squash at Edgewood Country Club with his wife and some friends. Randy was 62 years old. In previous years, Randy served on the selection committee to pick the Spirit of the Valley recipient. It is only fitting that we honor him as this year's honoree. The YMCA is very proud to pay tribute to a friend, T. Randolph Cox, a man whose immeasurable charity, compassion, and leadership are examples to us all.